All right, so let's go ahead and implement this generic repository. And for this generic repository, what we are going to have is, the interface created, and that's going to be inside this, that interfaces section itself. And if you see this particular thing, like this is iProduct repository, which is basically going to deal with the entity which is of type, product itself, which you can see that we are generally having dealing with this explicitly product and product brand. But here in what we are going to introduce is the generic repository, which means like it can handle any type of base entity which is getting involved in that, and that will be resolved at runtime itself. So via this calling method itself, like whoever is calling, so this will understand, and that p what is coming through, and that will get substituted. So having said that, let's go ahead and create that, and let's give this name saying that iGeneric repository, and that will be fine. And in here what I'm just going to have is the basic template structure itself, and that template structure is going to take this t. So it's going to be likewise. So here I'm just going to supply this t, and this t is nothing but any product type or any type which is coming in here, that will be substituted with that, and that's why I'm just saying t. And that is where the constraint I will be providing here with this t is going to be, let's say, base entity itself. So let's say in case if there is anything other than entity is coming in place, so it will give an error for that. And let's have few methods here, and for that, let's take this. Let's say if you just remember from that iProduct repository, so I think we can stick to this particular stuff, and what we could do here probably is we'll just put this thing as is, and only thing in this case we are just going to substitute this with t, and I list of again this is going to be t, and this thing let's say this also, and this as well, right? So although this is going to be the generic one, and this is what it is doing currently, as you can see here, right? That means like get products by id, and get product by id async, and then get products by that list itself, right? So that is what it is going to have, and that's what we have just taken this. Now there is one few red squigglies are coming if you just see this one, and actually this is I have taken as class, so it should be an interface, right? So now it has gone. So this particular error has gone. So what we have created is just simply we have taken this interface into that into interfaces section at core level now, which is the contract basically. Now let's go ahead and implement this, and the best way to uh, not move, the best way is to do this is in here, and let's call this as a generic repository itself, and this time we are going to have this class, and let's implement the same. So we are just going to have this as class, and this is what we are going to put that thing in place, right? So if I just go ahead and implement this one, so this is what it is going to take me here, right? So and this generic repository, right? So this generic repository is the implementation of iGeneric repository. So here again I need to follow the same structure, and likewise what I have created, let's say iGeneric repository, and this is going to be t, and we again need to supply this constraint over here, and we just need to tell this what is this t mean here, and that's what we are just saying, this base entity. And now let's go ahead and implement this missing members, which is these four interfaces, and this is going to be the blueprint of this. So having said that, this is that the structure of generic repository is created. Now let's go ahead and implement this into that next video itself.